It's Elizabeth, and I am waiting to go into a lunch. I was actually just thinking about something. I was talking to a guy a few minutes ago, who I met on Shaper. If you haven't been on Shaper, I should do a whole video on that. So I was talking to him, and I was telling him about, what I do and how I got into doing websites in a day. And he said, wow, that's eye-opening. And I thought, so simplifying things is eye-opening? But I guess to me, it's like, well, that's the easy thing to do. That's the right thing to do, is to make it simple, to make things clear, to make them concise. And he was just blown away that I just took a problem that I was having where people were, I had 30-day websites that I was doing, or like 6 weeks websites. And people were waiting till the last day to get me all their stuff. And so I just decided to, instead of conforming someone to my way of doing things, or to the world's way of doing things, that I would just conform to what they were doing, which was getting me everything on one day. And now I kind of use that as a way to, help people realize that if you don't have one day to put into your business, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your time? What is important? Why is this not important, to spend 1 8-hour day on your business? I mean, people go to conferences all the time, and they spend weekends on their businesses. They spend a whole week at a retreat on their business. But to take one day and just deal with their website, or one day and deal with their social media, or one day and deal with their brand, like, it just seems like so intuitive to me. But to him, he was like, whoa, like, I'm having the same problem. People aren't getting me their stuff, and they're delaying my timelines, and then I can't take other clients. And I was like, so simplify your process, dude. Like, it's easy. And so he's like, I'm going to think about that. I'm going to think about it. It was just really funny to me. But I was like excited for him that he kind of had this revelation that it didn't have to be hard. It didn't have to be that complicated. It didn't have to be that messed up, I guess. And that he was in charge of his own business, not the clients weren't in charge of his business. He was in charge of his business. So I just wanted to share that, that no matter how many times you've told your story, no matter how many times you've explained something to someone, because as I was telling him the story, I kind of have like this certain way I do it each time. And I was noticing I was like, almost like it was a script. It wasn't, but it kind of has gotten to that point where I've told the story so many times. And so I was like, oh, I'm saying this again, but this is the first time he was hearing it. So I just, went through it, and it really, helped him in a way. Like, I don't know how it's going to help him or how it's going to change his business, but I was just really happy that, like, he was able to get something from that. So, hi, Erica. How are you? She has a question. Do clients still at a premium for a one-day site? I'm not sure what you mean. Still at a premium. Still pay a premium? So I'm not sure. If you want to add the question again, I'm not sure what you mean. Sorry. My one-day sites are 8 hours spent with you on your site. So I need your brain most of the time to do that. So she said, I'm good. Pay a premium. So I actually was charging around $5,000 for my sites before, because I could only take 2 clients a month. And it was really frustrating because sometimes those 2 clients would overlap into the next month, or one of those clients would overlap, and then my other 2 clients that I had booked for the next month would get delayed. So it was really, I was always like behind in a way. When I went to doing my one-day sites, I charged $1,500 for one day. And now I can do, I have done as many as 28 to 31 in a month. Days, like with a client, different client every day, or a client that does 2 days with me or 3 days with me. So instead of charging someone $5,000 or $4,500 or $3,500 for a 30-day process, in which I'm going to have to stress out about them and hunt them down and get all their stuff from them, which was stressing me out, and then still build their site in one day because they don't get me anything until the end of the month. Now I'm just like, hey, let's just sit down and do it on one day, because that's what's going to end up happening anyway. And a client will usually work with me 2 to 3 days. And the 2 days would be, like a brand and website, or website and membership, or website and social media. So yeah, so I still get, you know, a good amount of money, and it's worth it for me, and I'm sharing my expertise, but I'm limiting the time frame. So it's a little bit easier for me to handle and manage. And then it's easier for them because, like, I know, thank you. I'm glad you saw it live too. I actually now train other designers to do this because it changed my life so much and gave me so much more freedom. And also for the client, they just feel like they're able to get a handle on things. They know what's happening. They understand how the process is working. You're not in the dark over like coding something and then like, here's your stuff. Now go figure it out later yourself. So it just really changed just for me, for my clients, changed everything. So thank you, Nancy. Hi. Yes, the system is so effective. It is. Nancy knows, she's been through it. So anyway, I just wanted to come on and encourage you guys. A couple things. One was about retelling your story because it's important for people as they, you know, go through things, and you've told your story a million times, but, you know, maybe that one person hasn't heard it. And also, to remember that not everything is as simple to other people. So like I said, when I told him about my one day website, he was like, wow, that's eye-opening, because even his system and his process was complicated, and it doesn't have to be that hard. So if there's something you do that's really simple and easy, please share it on the page. I'd like to make sure that people have a chance to do that as well. And I actually am going to be running into another meeting, so I wanted to say hi and jump on here real quick. I'm going to be doing some more lives coming up, so make sure that you stay tuned, and I will see you guys around. But yeah, if you have something that's simple and easy that you found that works for you, definitely post it in our page. All right, talk to you later, guys.